Every afternoon after school, 14-year-old Malik Torres would race through the cracked sidewalks of Houston's Third Ward, skateboard in hand, weaving between honking cars and overgrown curbs. His board was chipped, its grip tape peeling, and the wheels made a dull grinding noise from years of abuse. But Malik didn't care. To him, that skateboard wasn't just a board, it was freedom. It was how he carved joy into the pavement of a neighborhood too often forgotten. Raised by his grandmother, Nana D, after his mother passed away from lupus, Malik grew up in a small 2-bedroom apartment above a corner store. They didn't have much. Rent came first, groceries second, new shoes, not this month. But when Malik skated, the weight of struggle lifted. He imagined himself gliding on air, performing tricks like the pros he watched on YouTube. No crowd, no fame, just the sound of wheels on concrete and wind in his ears. His favorite spot was an abandoned parking lot behind an old laundromat. It had a broken stair rail, 2 dumpsters, and a perfect sloped wall tagged in graffiti. There, Malik practiced daily, ollies, kickflips, even failed heel flips that left bruises. The lot was a sanctuary, filled with scraped knees, laughter, and dreams. Sometimes, local kids gathered to watch. "Yo, do that trick again!" they'd shout. He'd try. Sometimes he landed it, sometimes he didn't, but he never stopped trying. One afternoon, after nailing a near-perfect board slide, Malik's board snapped clean in two. The tail splintered beneath his foot, sending him tumbling onto his side. Lying on the ground, breath knocked out of him, Malik stared at the sky, stunned. He sat up, clutching the broken halves. The lot fell silent. "Damn, kid," someone muttered. Malik didn't cry. He just held his board like a broken violin. Nana D tried to cheer him up that night. "You still got your legs, don't you?" she joked, handing him a plate of rice and beans. He smiled faintly. "Yeah, but my wings are gone." She kissed his forehead. "Wings grow back, baby. You just gotta give 'em time." But deep down, Malik knew that unless a miracle happened, he couldn't afford another board anytime soon. Word spread fast. Local skaters offered old gear, but nothing felt quite right. Malik declined politely, thankful but firm. "It's not about just riding," he explained. "It's about feeling it." He spent the next few days watching from the sidelines, encouraging other kids, filming tricks on his phone. But every moment off the board stung like a fresh bruise. One of the older teens, Dre, told Malik about a secret contest being held at Discovery Green downtown. "Big crowd, live DJ. You win, you get a VIP pass to Astroworld Fest, and maybe, just maybe, Travis Scott sees you." Malik's eyes widened. "Wait, Travis might be there?" Dre shrugged. "Who knows, man? But they're filming it. Best trick wins." Without a board, Malik couldn't even enter. But something about that opportunity lingered in his head like a beat stuck on repeat. He stayed up that night sketching tricks on a notepad, imagining each movement in slow motion. "If only," he whispered to himself. "If only I had one more shot." That next morning, Malik visited the parking lot anyway. He sat on the edge of a dumpster, watching the breeze stir trash around. His fingers traced the broken edge of his old board. He took a deep breath, stood, and looked around. "Maybe this story ain't over yet," he murmured. Determined not to let his dream die, Malik got creative. He knew Nana D wouldn't have money to buy him a new board, and he wouldn't ask her to. So he spent his Saturday hustling. First, he grabbed a broom and started cleaning windows at the gas station across the street. "Let me shine 'em up, sir. Just $1, he'd say. Some laughed. Others handed him change. Most ignored him. But a few stopped, moved by his energy. After hours under the sun, Malik made $10. Not enough, but a start. He ran home, dropped the cash into a shoebox under his bed, and hit the next stop, collecting cans. By evening, he'd hauled 3 trash bags full to the recycling center, earning $7 more. 17, he whispered, counting. Still far from a new board, but getting closer. The next day, he printed flyers. "I clean yards, $5, fast, honest." He went door to door around the neighborhood, offering his services. Some elders gave him work just for trying. Others gave him lemonade and encouragement. "You remind me of me," one old man said, patting his shoulder. Don't lose that fire. Malik didn't. In 2 days, he had $42. He visited every skate shop in Houston, comparing prices. The cheapest complete board was $70. Can you hold it for me? He asked the clerk. I'll be back, I promise. The guy chuckled. If it's here, it's yours, but no guarantees. Malik nodded. He left, more focused than ever. His fingers were blistered, his legs sore, but his spirit was climbing. Back at home, Nana D watched him crash on the couch, dirty and smiling. You workin' like a grown man, she said, massaging his feet. Because I want something that matters, he replied. Not for clout, not for TikTok, for me. She kissed his forehead. Then it's already yours, baby. Whether you get the board or not. By midweek, Malik had $67, just $3 short. He returned to the shop, hoping it was still there. The board sat on the wall, red deck, black, wheels, simple but clean. His hands trembled as he counted the money. $3 short, kid, the clerk said, frowning. Malik bit his lip. Please. I've been working nonstop. Just 3. The guy stared at him, then sighed. You're lucky I respect the grind. He pulled the board down and rang it up. Paid in full. Malik's jaw dropped. For real, the man winked. Skate like it owes you something. Malik nodded, gripping the board like it was made of gold. He didn't waste time. That same evening, he hit the parking lot again. The board felt new, different, responsive, sharp. Malik skated until his legs gave out, until stars blinked above the broken asphalt. As he lay on the ground, sweating and smiling, he whispered, I'm back. Now, all that remained was the contest. The morning of the contest arrived with a cloudless sky and an energy pulsing through the city. Malik woke up before sunrise, unable to sleep, heart pounding with anticipation. He slipped into his cleanest shirt, laced up his worn-out sneakers, and gave his board one last check. The wheels were tight. The trucks felt sturdy. Everything about this board screamed, new chapter. Nana D handed him a packed sandwich and a bottle of water. Make him feel it, baby, she said, kissing his cheek. Malik hugged her tightly. I'm not scared, he said, more to himself than to her. He caught the metro downtown, board tucked under his arm, headphones on. The beat of Travis Scott's Butterfly Effect guided his breath like a drumline preparing for war. Discovery Green was buzzing by the time he arrived. A temporary skate setup had been constructed. Ramps, rails, boxes, even a small half-pipe. Kids from all over Houston were warming up, their boards clapping against wood and metal. Malik watched, them from a distance, taking it all in. Some looked pro-level, with sponsors stitched onto their shirts. He felt the nerves creeping in but pushed them away. The contest wasn't just about tricks. It was about presence. About who could grab the crowd's attention and hold it. A live DJ spun beats while the MC hyped up each skater. Cameras circled, influencers live-streamed, and the crowd roared at every successful trick. Malik inhaled deeply and stepped into line, holding his ticket tightly. He wasn't on any list of favorites. He was just that skinny kid with the cheap board. But Malik didn't mind. He preferred being underestimated. When his name was finally called, he rolled out with confidence. No theatrics. Just fire in his eyes and purpose in his chest. His first trick, a clean backside board slide, earned modest cheers. But when he followed it with a 360 flip into a nose manual, the crowd leaned in. The beat dropped, and Malik synced his routine to the rhythm, using the music as a metronome. He spun, flipped, and slid like a dancer with something to prove. At one point, his foot nearly slipped. His body jolted forward. But instead of falling, he recovered mid-air and turned it into an improvised move that looked deliberate. The crowd went wild. The MC shouted, "Yo, that kid's cooking!" Even the pros on the sidelines started paying attention. By the time Malik finished his run, he was breathless, sweat trickling down his neck. The DJ gave him a beat drop salute. The audience clapped and whistled. One judge raised a fist. Malik rolled back, panting, heart hammering. Whether he won or not, he had made an impression, and that to him already felt like a win. He rejoined the other contestants, chest heaving, and closed his eyes. "Whatever happens," he whispered, "I gave him my best." After the last skater wrapped up their routine, the judges huddled. The crowd shifted, murmurs flying. Phones lit up with tweets and clips. "Who's the kid in red? Did you all see that save? That little dude went crazy." Malik sat on a patch of grass near the ramp, sandwich untouched, replaying. Each moment in his head like a loop. One of the camera crew approached. "You got a minute?" he asked. Malik nodded, nervous. The man crouched. That was insane. "What's your name?" "Malik Torres," he replied, wiping sweat off his face. "That board's brand new?" "4 days old," Malik smiled. The man laughed. "Well, it's already famous." The MC returned to the mic feedback slicing the air. "All right, y'all, the judges have spoken. Before we reveal the top 3, we got a little surprise." The DJ switched the track. The opening notes of Goosebumps echoed through the park. The crowd screamed. Something shifted in the air. A sleek black SUV pulled up behind the stage. Security cleared. A path. Then, to everyone's shock, Travis Scott stepped out, hoodie up, shades on, flanked by 2 team members. The crowd went berserk. Phones rose like a wave. "No way!" "That's Travis, bro." Malik stood frozen. His heart dropped into his stomach. The artist who defined his soundtrack, whose beats got him through grief and hustle, was now walking toward the stage. "This ain't real," he muttered. But it was. Travis greeted the crowd with a nod and grabbed the mic. "Yo, Houston," he said, voice calm but electric. "I heard y'all were skating today. Had to pull up." Applause erupted. He turned toward the judges. "Now, I ain't no skater, but I know fire when I see it. That kid in the red tee, that was fire." Malik's jaw dropped. Heads turned toward him. The MC called out, "Malik Torres, get over here, bro." His legs moved. Before his brain caught up, he stepped onto the stage, shaking, blinking against the lights. Travis gave him a firm handshake. "You got heart, kid," he said. "That save? Mad respect." Then, with a signal to his team, Travis reached for something behind him. A brand. New custom deck. It shimmered under the lights, engraved with flames and the words, "Cactus Jack rides with you." The crowd gasped. "This is yours," Travis said, handing it over. Malik clutched it, breathless. I don't know what to say." Travis grinned. "Just keep skating, bro. You already said it all." By the time Malik got home that night, his phone was blowing up. A clip of him recovering the botched trick mid-run had gone viral on Instagram, with captions like, "Skater Kid saves it in front of Travis Scott," and "This boy just got the cosign of the year." TikTok edits poured in, layered with dramatic music, slow-motion zooms, and comment sections exploding with fire emojis. Even local news picked it up. Teen skater stuns at Houston contest. Travis Scott surprises crowd. Reporters knocked at Nana D's door the next morning. "Can we talk to Malik?" She said no to most of them, shielding him from the frenzy. "He's still just a boy," she told one pushy journalist. "And he still has math homework." Meanwhile, Malik tried to make sense of it all. He wasn't used to being the center of attention. He was used to skating alone, unnoticed. Now his DMs were full of brand. Reps, shout-outs, and even an invitation to appear on a youth panel hosted by a national sports network. "Am I dreaming?" he asked Nana D. "No, baby," she replied. "You just finally got seen." The new deck sat on his desk like a trophy. He still rode his old one in the alley, not wanting to scratch Travis's gift. "That board's too pretty to get dirty," he joked. But the truth was deeper. It represented something sacred now. Not just recognition, but a moment that validated all his bruises and hustle. School the next week was chaos. Teachers gave him high fives. Classmates asked for autographs. Even the janitor said, "Yo, don't forget us when you're famous." Malik tried to stay humble, but he couldn't help smiling when someone asked if he had Travis's number. Of course he didn't. But he did have a memory that couldn't be erased. He posted a video thanking everyone. "I'm just a kid who skated every day in an alley. If you're watching this and got dreams, keep going. You never know who's watching." The clip racked up hundreds of thousands of views. His message resonated, not because he was flashy, but because he was real. That weekend, Malik was invited to speak at a community center. They called it the Hustle Talk. He stood in front of a room full of kids, ages 8 to 15, all wide-eyed and clinging to every word. "I broke my board and thought that was the end," he said. But it was just the crack before the breakthrough. He kept skating every day. Not for likes, not for reposts, for himself, for the kid inside him who fell and stood back, up. And each time his wheels touched pavement, Malik remembered. It started with a broken board, but it ended with belief. In the weeks that followed, Malik's story didn't just stay viral, it evolved. A local nonprofit reached out to feature him in a mentorship program. They wanted him to lead weekend skate clinics in underserved neighborhoods. "Me? Teach?" he asked. "You're already doing it," the organizer replied. "Kids look up to you now." The first session felt surreal. 20 kids showed up, some with old boards, others just there to watch. Malik didn't preach. He skated. He fell. He laughed. And when one kid asked how he learned to balance, Malik knelt beside him and said, "By falling. Every time. You just get better at standing up." Nana D watched from a distance, wiping away a tear. "That's my baby," she whispered. Malik caught her eye and gave her a thumbs up mid-ollie. His world was expanding, but his roots never left him. He still did his chores, still said grace at dinner, still rode the metro. One evening, as he skated through the parking lot that started it all, he saw a group of younger kids attempting their first tricks. One boy wore a backpack almost bigger than his body. Malik rolled up and asked, "Y'all, mind if I join?" The kids gasped. "You're that Travis guy." "Sorta," he laughed. "But really, I'm just Malik." They skated until sunset. He taught them simple moves, celebrated their falls, and even gave one kid his old set of wheels. "Pass it on when you can," he said. "Someone once did that for me, too." As word spread, brands began offering sponsorships, shoes, shirts, boards. But Malik read the fine print. If it didn't feel right, he declined. "I'm not trying to be a logo," he told Nana D. "I'm trying to be a legacy." That night, he added a new mural to his wall, a painting of his broken board, split in half, surrounded by flames with the words, "Risen from ruin." It reminded him of where he began, of what could grow from what first looked like destruction. And every time he stepped on his board, he stepped forward in honor of the boy who almost gave up, and didn't. With rising fame came something unexpected. Pressure. People expected perfection. Every move was being watched, analyzed, posted. Malik couldn't land a trick without someone filming it. Couldn't go to the skate park without hearing whispers. Is he better now? Is he legit? Or just lucky? The doubt seeped in. For a while, he stopped skating for fun. It felt like a performance. Like he was doing tricks for approval, not passion. He avoided the parking lot. Declined interview requests. Even ignored DMs from fans. "What's wrong?" Nana D asked gently. "You look heavy." "I just forgot why I started," he said. So she gave him space. And silence. One evening, she left a note by his bed. "The streets never asked you to be perfect. They only ever asked you to show up." That line hit deep. Malik walked outside, board in hand, and rode until his muscles burned. Alone. No cameras. Just wind, wheels, and reflection. He returned to his roots. He picked up trash at his old spot. Painted. The ramp's edge. Played music from a busted speaker. Slowly skating became his again. Not content, but therapy. Not a brand, but breath. He posted less, laughed more. And when kids asked for tips, he showed them. Not for clout, but for love. It took time, but Malik learned how to manage the spotlight without losing himself. He talked to a counselor through the nonprofit. Journaled. Prayed. He even started writing poems in the Notes app on his phone. Lines like, "My trick ain't clean, but my soul stays mean," and "Every fall's a line in my gospel." One day, Travis Scott reposted one of his clips. No tag, no caption. Just the video of Malik helping a younger skater land his first drop-in. That single repost reminded Malik, real respect doesn't need words. It lives in the echo of your actions. With clarity came courage. Malik began planning something bigger. A community skate event that wasn't about going viral, but about being present. No sponsors, no trophies, just people and pavement, he said. Because sometimes, reclaiming your purpose isn't loud. It's quiet. Like wheels in the night, writing stories only your heart can hear. Malik called it the Ride Back. A free skate day in the heart of Third Ward. No entry fee, no sponsors. Just a bunch of kids, teens, and even adults riding together on streets they once walked with burdens. Word spread fast. Local barbershops posted flyers. Schools shared it on their bulletins. The Echo Center offered snacks and water. The day arrived with sun and music. Speakers blasted beats while kids showed up with scratched decks, scooters, and hand-me-down skates. Malik arrived early, setting up ramps and cones. "This isn't mine," he told a volunteer. "This is ours." By noon, over 150 people had shown up, filling the block with laughter, sweat, and celebration. There were no judges, no cash prizes, but there were breakthroughs. Kids landing their first tricks, shy teens making friends, elders clapping from lawn chairs. Malik moved through it all, cheering, helping, filming with borrowed GoPros. He wore a shirt that read "Fall Forward." It became the event's unofficial motto. Midway through the day, an older man approached him. "I lost my son to the streets," he said quietly. "He used to skate right here. You brought the joy back. Thank you." Malik felt the weight of that moment. "He rides with us today," he said softly. "Every push forward, he's here." One girl fell hard trying a drop-in. The crowd gasped. Malik rushed over. She sat up, bleeding and teary. "I can't," she whispered. "Yes, you can," he replied, handing her his own board. "Try again with this." She nodded, trembling, and on her second try, she nailed it. The crowd roared. Her smile lit the block. As the sun dipped, Malik stood atop a crate and called for attention. "This isn't the end," he said. "This is the beginning. Every one of you has something worth riding for. Don't forget that." He raised his board. Others did too. The sound of trucks slapping concrete filled the air like applause. The next day, footage from the ride back went viral. But Malik didn't care. The real success was in the hugs, the laughs, the wounds turned into war paint. He'd done something bigger than trends. He'd created a moment, a movement. Back home, he placed a photo from the event beside the Travis Scott deck. Not as a trophy, but as a reminder. That day, he didn't need a stage or a cosign. He had his people. And for Malik, that was everything. He slept that night with sore legs and a full heart. In the silence of his room, he whispered, "This is what I was skating toward all along." Months passed. Malik's story made it into magazines, documentaries, and even classroom discussions about youth empowerment, but he didn't chase the spotlight. He kept his circle tight, his wheels moving, and his soul honest. Fame didn't change him, it refined him. Polished the stone already burning inside. He began working with local schools to create skate programs. "It's not about tricks," he told teachers. "It's about discipline, focus, community." He visited juvenile centers, showing teens how to rebuild, not just decks, but lives. Each session ended with the same promise: "You might fall, but you don't gotta fall alone." One afternoon, he stood in the parking lot that birthed his journey. The rail was rusted now. The wall's graffiti faded. But Malik saw beauty in its decay. He rolled forward slowly, doing the same line he used to when no one was watching. He paused at the exact spot where his board once snapped. A boy watched from the sidewalk. "You the Travis Scott kid?" he asked. Malik smiled. "I'm just a skater." He flipped his board and sat. "You skate?" The boy shook his head. "I got no board." Malik stood, walked over, and handed him one of his extras. "Now you do." Later that night, Malik opened a journal and wrote, "The goal was never to go viral. The goal was to live loud enough for the kid I used to be to hear me." Travis Scott invited him to a second event, this time backstage. "You still killin' it?" he asked. Malik nodded. "But more importantly, I'm still showing up." Travis dapped him up. "That's the key, respect." Years down the line, Malik opened a free skate school, the Push Lab. Each wall bore stories. each corner hummed with energy, and at the center hung his original broken board, cracked and mounted under the words, "Here's where the ride really began." Because in the end, Malik wasn't famous for falling. He was remembered for rising, for lifting others as he climbed, for proving that even cracked boards and forgotten alleys can launch legends. And every time a new kid stepped on a board, trembling but brave, they carried his legacy forward, one ride at a time.